What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out this 2025 Hyundai Tucson. This one is the XRT all-wheel drive, finished off in Ecotronic Gray. MSRP is $35,700. You think this is kind of the perfect mid-size, mid-priced crossover. It's not a tiny one, it's also not ginormous, and it really doesn't break the bank. So we're on a 1,500 mile trip with this car. I've put about 700 miles on the car already, and we have another 700 to go tomorrow. But underneath the hood, this is going to have the standard engine, which is just a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. So this is a 2.5 liter. We have 187 horsepower, 178 pound-feet of torque. It does have the 8-track all-wheel drive, and then this has an 8-speed dual clutch transmission. 3,700 pounds is the curb weight, and we can tow about 2,000 pounds and get 30 mpg on the highway. So for the headlights, it's really cool how they've done it. This looks nice and reflective, like it's all black chrome throughout the grille. When you hit the lock button or unlock button, you can see how it lights up. These two will light up too. Headlights are actually right here. Got a nice trim piece, a cool dark color throughout the front grille, blacked out Hyundai badge, and of course we have a lot of bugs from the road trip. We can see some more trim down below and a nice opening, and overall it's a pretty sharp looking small crossover. Over on the hood, you're going to get a lot of sharp body lines cutting towards the windshield. And then at the side, I like how you have this plastic trim all throughout it. You can see these rugged designs for the 18-inch wheels. And then the lower rocker panel also has that plastic just to protect the bodywork. You got a lot of really sharp body lines throughout the side profile. Looks really nice. You can also see body colored door handles, black mirror caps, and a nice proportion overall. I think it's a pretty cool looking design. Got some black trim back here, integrated a spoiler, and then these LED taillights look really cool. You can see the turn signal way down below, and then the LED bar all throughout it. Got your Hyundai badge integrated into the glass, all your logos and everything, and then a small little hitch on this specific spec, which is great for maybe a bike rack or something like that. So not too bad for the style. Now for the cargo space, this button is a little hidden underneath there. Got that Tucson XRT badge. And then for cargo space, you're looking around 80 cubic feet, and with the seats up, it's closer to 41 cubic feet. So it's been a pretty roomy car. And then we have these levers right here you can pull to fold those seats down. You are going to see a nice spare tire underneath. And then if we take a look through the side, these will fold down nicely and lock into place. And then we just grab the recline lever to unlock them, and we can pick them back up. So pretty simple overall to operate the interior. And you can get a good idea on the cargo space with the seats in the upright configuration. Got your button right there to close it, and then going through this side, once again we can unlock that, and you can see how different the recline angle is. Going ahead and pulling these back a little bit more, taking a seat in the back seats, you're going to see you have air vents and some plugs, a little bit of storage over here, and with the driver's seat at my height, I have a ton of legroom. This is actually pretty impressive. The seat base is really comfortable too, and these recline even farther. You're going to get a nice cup holder and armrest right in the center. Tons of headroom. Really can't complain. This is honestly a really nice back seat. Making our way to the front seats now. You are going to get the smart key with remote start, and then you can lock and unlock it just by grabbing the door handle. So the front door panels have a little bit softer type materials throughout them versus just hard plastic. We're going to get some nice trim throughout it, all of your controls, storage down below, and power controls for the driver's seat. You got the perforations as well as the smooth leather material, and then the XRT badge up above with a nice 3-spoke design on the steering wheel. Inside, foot on the brake, let's fire it up. Got all your screens turning on. We have some controls over on the right side for some Bluetooth and audio. We have cruise control over on the left, and then on the gauge cluster, you can cycle up and down a couple different screens, and then cycle left and right and see a few more. I like the font. It's kind of like old school digital clock, which is a pretty neat look. We got the stock on the right side for windshield wipers, and then turn signals on the left. Interior dimming, trunk release, as well as the traction control. One of your air vents, some mesh material, and then kind of a rubber material up above on the dashboard. We're going to get some hidden storage over here, which is a really nice touch to put phones, receipts, things like that you're using on a trip, and then some nice silver trim for the air vents. Of course, we're going to have your Apple CarPlay, and then we have physical buttons as well, where you can configure the main screen as well as all of the different tiles. So pretty simple and useful. And then into reverse, we have a nice backup camera that pops up. You're going to see a couple different views as well. And then back into park. We're going to get more of these shortcuts all throughout the center, and then climate controls in the center with your dual zone temperature. We have fan speed, heated seats, a few other controls on this nice touch sensitive screen. And then there's going to be all plugs down below with wireless charging and a ton of hidden storage. Now right in the center we have a couple different controls. We have our lock for the 4-wheel drive system, we have the downhill assist, we have park and brake, shortcut to your cameras, as well as auto start stop. You got a couple drive modes. It'll even change the gauge cluster, which is a cool touch to see. And then we have a nice padded armrest, storage down below, and then some piano black up in front. Glove box on the right side, pretty good amount of space as expected. And then one last look at the interior, just a basic headliner, couple controls, and a nice thin mirror. All right, so setting off now in the Hyundai Tucson. Just get that to some speed. So since this is not a hybrid or turbo or anything like that, it's a little on the slow side. However, I found that honestly your day-to-day driving, it's been fine. Even getting up to some 75-mile-an-hour highways, you can still get into traffic. I just noticed a couple times, and you know, this is coming from someone who loves fast cars, I kind of gotta monitor the gap so I can get in safely. However, it's been adequately powered to get up and go. On the highway, I've also been able to get 30 miles per gallon pretty easily. We've done a little city driving, and we're only down to about 28.5 for the total drive this last 800 miles or so. But overall, this has been a pretty comfortable car. You know, the seats have a good position, good maneuverability to them as well. You got really good visibility out to the whole vehicle, so really no complaints with that. It is cool, depending on the drive mode, you can actually even adjust the steering feel. So right now we're in the normal steering feel. You can bump that up into sport, and actually it's a little bit tighter. So if you are going to be going under maybe some mountain roads or something like that, at least you can customize it, or just go into sport mode, and you can kind of dial up the car just a little bit, which you wouldn't normally expect for a more economy focused car. But overall driving's been quite nice. The suspension absorbs the bumps. You hear a little bit of the wind noise. However, it's been pretty doable for a long trip, and honestly I've had no complaints with this being a highway cruiser, a long haul type of vehicle. Don't get any fatigue or anything uncomfortable like that. So I feel like if you're looking for something that isn't gonna break the bank, you know, this is 10 grand under the average price of a new car, and yet it is very well equipped. There's no built-in nav or anything too fancy, but we have the Apple CarPlay, which is about all I need in any modern car. So with that, you know, it kind of just gives you the tech that you're gonna want in a modern car. And then taking a nice turn, it's a pretty stable feeling vehicle too. Again, for being more of an economy style vehicle, it's not like it feels like a tin can. It feels pretty solid, pretty well put together. Turning circle with the all-wheel drive is still pretty sharp, and given it has all-wheel drive, this is going to be something that you can go on maybe a light trail or something. Obviously a gravel road isn't going to do anything to test it, but this is something that you can drive, use it for the day-to-day, no matter where you live in the country. If you have snow driving to do, mountain driving to do, I feel like it's going to be a pretty well-rounded crossover. And at the price point, you know, it's not going to break the bank. Very attainable vehicle for most buyers. And I don't think you're really sacrificing to get into this Tucson. I feel like it's just a good overall car. It could be maybe even a good first car or something like that. And really no complaints from the drive.